Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, King Dick back here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown post-game show of just what an epic game. Epic night. Eagles beat the Chiefs. Joey Shakes. What is going on, my man? How are you?
It's crazy, man. It's just like the number one game of the year, the best win from the Philadelphia Eagles this year. And it was another nail biter like it is every single week. But holy shit, dude. It was crazy. A lot to talk about.
My God. I mean, this game had so many different things in it, like that at points you were frustrated, happy, wanting to go off, and then just like it just all turned around. It was truly a great game. I will say this though, I think the Jalen Hurts' ability to put a team on his back and just to will them to win when it matters most is unbelievable to me. It really is. And then, of course, the defense shuts them out in the second half, which is unheard of to do against Kansas City, which is just unbelievable. Let me say hi to everybody. Jersey Dolphins here, Logan, Motorsports, Marcus, Reverend Bebop, Truth Addiction, who said I was going to bet $20-something. I was going to be late, but I wasn't late. Easy. Frankie's here. What's going on? Johnny Blaze, James, the Fandalorian. What is going on, everybody? And everybody, I miss Clark. What is going on, John? Man, Jolo. Everybody's here. Everybody's here because the Eagles pulled off a huge win. I mean, this was a huge win. When I don't even know where to begin except for the beginning. The Eagles come out. They go what? 3-and-out. Kansas City goes 3-and-out. We go 3-and-out. Kansas City scores. We score. Kansas City turns the ball, or like we turn the ball over. Kansas City turns the ball. It was like back and forth, like the first quarter, and then it seemed like at point times like Kansas City started to really kind of control things in that second quarter. It got very frustrating.
Yeah, it was one of those games where, I mean, like they're like, look, we always say this every single week because there's always, you got to take the good with the bad. Okay. There was a lot of bad things that happened. I think the Eagles made more mistakes than Kansas City made today. I was kind of already going on the downfall in that first half with Brian Johnson and what he was doing with this offense, but Jalen Hurts trailing in football games. He's the number one quarterback in the league for a reason. It's just, It's crazy how these games turn out, and there's a lot of good things to take out of it too when it comes to what they did change coming off the bye, and some things that are a little worrying, some just a little bit. But this was the most important win of the season. I mean, this is a big win facing KC. I mean, going to their stadium and beating them there. It's a tough task that a lot of teams can't do. Look, Kansas City is like the new evil empire. I mean, they're the new Patriots. They treat Patrick Mahomes like the golden boy, and it's a hard team to beat, and the Eagles pulled it out, man.
Yeah, Joe Mariucci says, Joey, we are all saying prayers for your pop and your family. You're not alone. Appreciate you, man.
Joe, very much.
I thought coming out of this game, like I thought the one thing early on was like it looked like Swift was going to have a big night. Like Swift in the first quarter, I thought was incredible. And once again, they go away from him in the second quarter. Again, they I don't know why they're fascinated with taking him out for a quarter at a time. It's like every time he seems like he's getting going in the first quarter, They take him out the second quarter. He comes back in the third quarter, and he's now cold again, and he doesn't get going into the fourth quarter. But I mean, it worked out. Tyrell Young, thank you for super chat. He goes, bittersweet, but we smoke it on that pack. Best in the league, NFC East, Eagles haters, shaking my damn head, and fly goes fly. Listen, here's the thing. We can talk about all the negative stuff. There are things that I'm sure we're all going to talk about during the course of the week, but to go into Kansas City, a very hard place to play. Mahomes has never lost in Kansas City in November. Never has happened in his career. To do what the Eagles did, you got to give them credit. And I really think a lot of it has to do with Jalen Hurts and his ability to come up big in big games and will his team to win. And then the defense gets tons of credit because they shut out the Chiefs in the second half. They didn't get any points. No points in the second half, Joey.
No, it's you'd think with the size defense, and they held up. I mean, the defensive line was getting at it. It was tough, man. I mean, I don't know how many sacks they had on Mahomes. Was it 1 sack? 2? I mean, not even.
I think they had at least 1. Oh, I know Reddick early on got a sack. I think they had 1. That Josh Sweat play late in the game where he caused the intentional, intentional ground. It was a big play.
Right.
Splendid 64 to 500. I'm celebrating with this win with a little Debbie's Christmas tree cake. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. Those are pretty good.
They are good.
Obviously, there was some frustrations with the play calling with Brian Johnson, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that all week. I'm sure there are times we're going to talk about it, but I mean, dude, the pass to Devontae Smith, the play Devontae Smith makes late. It's just unbelievable, this team, man.
He was open earlier in the game too. And just to say, do we talk about Brian Johnson? Like what really just ticked me off a little bit in this game. And I think like when Travis Kelce got that ball popped out by Bradley Roby and Zach Cunningham. Okay. And like that should really bring your teams, like the momentum, shift should be there. And, they're throwing these little flat screen passes to the left, to the right. Like, I don't know if they're just trying to waste time. They're just trying to get out of the end zone to maybe they already thought they were going to punt. I don't know what they were doing there, but it was crazy, man.
Well, let me see if I'm going to have to pull it up. But what I didn't understand about that whole sequence was that DeAndre Swift was so dominating on the ground. It was like, I thought that would have been the perfect time to actually keep running him. DeAndre Swift had a great game. He had 12 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. He averaged over 6 yards a carry. So he's averaging 6.3 yards a carry. I thought that's when you do something like that, But it worked out. Nathaniel Thaver Super Chat goes, man, shout out to the defense coordinator who made adjustments. Not that Joey had no faith in. Yeah. Thank you for super chat. Does Sean decide? I mean, look, dude, they made great adjustments. I mean, you got to give them credit to shut down the Chiefs in a whole half. That's huge.
Yeah, it's unheard of.
Webfoot David Super Chat goes, let's go take some of my winnings from betting on the Eagles to win. Love you guys. Keep up the good fight. And we are 9-1. Yes, man. And congratulations on winning. Desai was lights out. He was. You know who I thought played a good game? And there were times where he did make some mistakes, but I thought we really got to see Kevin Byard the way we needed. I think that interception, I even think some of the ways in which he was covering Kelce, I thought Kevin Byard had a really good game, actually, for the most part.
Yeah, he was physical. I mean, there was miscommunication issues on the back end. Like, they were running into each other, running into one guy. I mean, the one in the back of the end zone, which I think it was Byard's guy that went across, the back of the end zone. So, I mean, mistakes are going to be made, but getting that pick and also being real physical with Kelce, it really did help. We kind of were talking about that the last shakedown on, maybe they would put him on Kelce since they, he knows that, him really well. And Travis Kelce didn't have a fantastic game.
No, he didn't. Did you? I don't know if you heard him after. He was kind of pissed off, Kelce. That fumble was huge.
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
it that knocked it out? Was that Morrow that knocked it, punched out? That
Cunningham
was a
and
huge fumble.
Roby.
Cunningham, because if you don't get if they score a touchdown here, this is a completely different game. That was a huge turnover. Green Knight, David Zubache goes, not going to lie, the offensive line had some issues, but now let's watch the Washington Dallas game. You streaming that, by the way, Philly? I'm leaning towards not streaming that. Green Knight. I'm not saying 100%. I might stream it, but I'm leaning towards not, just because it's Thanksgiving Day, family, and I feel like with the Eagles winning, we're not sitting here with a loss thinking, oh, they're going to be tied in wins if they win. So I feel like the Eagles game gives us a little bit of breathing room for a week. So I'm leaning towards not, but I still think Washington's going to win that game. I do. I mean, dude, I think that this was. Did you get the sense? And Green Knights, thank you for the super chat. Did you get the sense? And shout out to Bubba in my stream, but he said something and I was while we were watching the game in the second quarter, especially, like, because to me, in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, and even coming out in the half, I almost felt like they had no juice. There was no energy. Like, they looked flat, and almost like where Bubba shout out, he said this almost seems psychological. Like, this team is like psychologically, maybe they don't believe they can beat the Chiefs at this point, or still thinking about the Super Bowl, but it just seemed like there was something wrong, and then I don't know, Hurts gets the ball back and decides that that's enough. Enough is enough.
Did Hurts look like, when you see some of his, they showed his face a lot of times in the second half, did you see like he was kind of like, I don't know, I can't really describe it. Didn't look too high, too low, like right in the middle. Like he kind of looked like really too calm, or like maybe he was just out of rhythm on certain times, how he was being used. Like, what did you think of? I mean, do you think there's still an issue with, since Jalen Hurts got more healthy during the bye week, and a lot of third downs or a lot of QB draws, a lot of them.
I know.
It's still,
I think,
problem.
Yeah, I don't know why they like to do 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, and they 3rd and 6, and they love to run those draws. I don't like it, but they do it anyways. It worked late in the fourth quarter, but I don't know what it was. It just felt like at one point in the game that the Eagles were like, I just felt like they were flat, or they didn't have juice, man. It just seemed like, it seemed like we couldn't tackle. We're missing tackles left and right.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving the ball. Tony's getting punts and he's running it back, and we're missing. It just felt like everything was. It was to the point that it was late in the second quarter, and I'm like, we just need to get to halftime and regroup here. We need to regroup,
right?
And it felt like that, and it almost feels like, I don't know, like we're still thinking about the Super Bowl something, and then it's just like when the game mattered in the fourth quarter, Hurts was like, all right, enough of this bull crap. I'm going to take this to another level, and he did. and he went down and he scored. I think Jalen Hurts is your MVP right now. I think he's legitimate MVP of this league right now.
Crazy.
PJ Davis Super Chat goes, Twitter is real quiet right now. I'm sure they are. Flipping the birds. David Super Chat goes, I hope Sirianni goes crazy Italian on Brian Johnson before they leave Kansas City. I'm talking about grabbing Brian by his collar and shoving him up against the plane and threatening him to fix his shit or else. Yeah, I mean, there are just some things I don't understand. I don't understand the screen passes, screens, like, and I also just don't understand the way they choose to use DeAndre Swift. I don't get it.
I don't see Nick reprimanding Brian Johnson ever during these games. Like, I never see them have an altercation or really nothing. I never see anything. I feel like Nick just I feel like we keep winning games like this, but they're making it, Brian Johnson's just making it so much harder for this offense when they don't have to make it that difficult at times.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I feel like that too, but I mean, at the end of the day, they get it done. Zay Boogie David Super Chat goes, even though he didn't have a great game in the first half, Hurts delivered when he needed him to. Also, I don't think it was just him. It's really Brian Johnson. Yeah, like I look at Hurts, and I know the numbers aren't going to be there, the statistics. But to me, I look at it and I say, man, that's a franchise quarterback. This guy wills his team to win.
Shows up in the moment.
He takes them down the field He takes them down the field in Kansas City in the fourth quarter, and he gives them the lead. I mean, you can't ask for more than a quarterback than that, dude. He is remarkable in my opinion, you know. And the interception that he threw was miscommunication. He thought AJ was going to slant in, and AJ saw that he was wide open for a touchdown if he keeps going, and it was miscommunication. That's all it was, you know. So I'm not too worried about that. I just think Jalen Hurts and his defense were the difference in tonight's game, and DeAndre Swift. I thought Swift had a really good game. Reverend Bebop's David Super Chat goes, Chiefs made uncharacteristic mistakes, though. Kelsey dropping the ball and Scantling dropping the ball. If we play again, we need to be better in the secondary. Listen, you know, they did. They dropped balls. They made mistakes. But here's the way I look at it. We didn't play our best football. I mean, we didn't play that best football because in the second, third quarter, I'm saying, hey, we're down 7. We're in this game. We're down at halftime. I'm going, we're down 10 at halftime. I'm going, but we're still in this game. We're not playing, but we're still in this game. So, yeah, they could fix things. We could fix things. But you look at these two teams. Super Bowl was a nail biter. This game is nail biter. These are clearly the two classes of the NFL. It's these two teams.
But the thing is though too, like these teams have opportunities. So it's like, oh, the Eagles barely won this game. The Eagles should have lost this game because Travis Kelce and Scantling and these guys had drops. But dude, like sometimes like they fumble these opportunities. And if you let the Eagles come too close, they're going to take the game away. When the Eagles trail in these games, they fight back, and they've done it multiple times this year. I know we're kind of waiting to see that they're going to have a four quarters of just an explosive offense. You're not going to see that this year, unfortunately. If I could just say right now, I don't think the Eagles are ever going to have a perfect game. I don't think they're ever going to have a perfect game. There's no such thing as a perfect game because no team is playing a perfect game right now. So,
yeah, I mean, you're not going to get it. But this team knows how to win tight games. They know how to win close games, and they're never out of it. Duncan Wright, member for 13 months. Thank you so much. He goes, the first half lethargic, second half total satisfaction. Agreed. Agreed. The Chiefs dropped a lot of passes. They did, but listen, we made a lot of mistakes too. You know what I mean?
True.
Philly 500 never talk shit about Eagles to a Cowboy. Well, wait, what? I'm confused. Me? I always talk bad about the Cowboys.
I want to bring this up real quick. How about?
Yeah.
So no Rashad Penny, inactive Rashad.
Yeah, it's really everybody said they were saving him for the second half of the season. He just must not be that good, Joey. I don't know at this point. I mean, he just must not be that good.
He's fucking.
He's not even dressing.
Yeah.
Eric, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Yes, Blitz looked great. Too bad they slammed the brakes when they got to Mahomes.
Oh God.
Yeah,
he got away so many. Fletcher Cox was pissed off that way at one. That
I
one
don't like
the passer
that call.
was bullshit. That was bullshit.
Listen, they call that a lot, but it's just like I just think that's too close to call. They got to let these guys play. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was bull. I was like, oh, here we go with the Dallas stuff again. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking. Lemonade David Super Chat goes, Mark Holmes, aka Skid Marks, was at his prime skewing bullshit out of his pie hole all night. Hurts is the league MVP to date. Mahomes equals Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think Hurts is the MVP right now. As far as Mark Holmes goes, you know, I watched a video that he did earlier today that pissed me off. It was like Cowboys are going to have a great night because the Eagles are going to lose to the Chiefs and we're back in the division now and all this crap. Like their whole entire Thanksgiving has now just been ruined. We just ruined their Thanksgiving because now they have to get ready for Washington, thinking that they're going to tie us in wins, and all of a sudden that's down the drain. You know what I mean? I thought it was pathetic the way they were acting.
A wasted day.
Yeah, Jay David Super Chat goes, dude came back down 10 on a bum leg in Kansas City. Every day I wake up, I thank God Jalen Hurts is my quarterback. F stats and crap coaching. Number one is he's a flat out winner. I mean, the dude just says, you know what? Enough of this bullshit. Fourth quarter, I'm going to put this team on my back, and I'm going to come back and win. And that's what he did. And to me, I don't know what anybody could possibly say about the Eagles at this point. Like I don't know what excuses they can give. This team just went in to Kansas City on Monday Night Football in November, where Patrick Mahomes never lost in November, and he took it from him. That's a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Matthew Davis Super Chat goes 0 points allowed in the second half. I know that's really tremendous. That's so hard to do, man. You know. There's Bubba. I was just talking about you, Bubba. He goes, we need to start to realize if you let Hurts hang around enough, this kid always finds a way to win. Always finds a way to win. I saw a thing where it was like when the Eagles are down, Hurts' completion percentage like skyrockets. It goes up. Dak Prescott's is like one of the worst. And it's like the last. Yeah, it's like completely. You know, you want to know the difference between a franchise quarterback and not a franchise quarterback, a winner, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. That's really what it is. You know, you know, there's not everybody in the mutter was waiting for us to drop this game. They all thought we were going to lose this game. There was no chance the Eagles would win. We're going to lose four straight. Now look, you got Buffalo next week. Buffalo is not that good. There's nobody on the schedule that is as good as Kansas City, in my opinion. You can beat everybody. There's nobody that we can't beat. Major Paint, thank you for Super Chat. Goes 500. Are we supposed to have a Super Bowl hangover? We have new coordinators, new pieces, rookies, but we are overcoming all that. This team is awesome. They are awesome. I think the hangover for us really came early in the year where we were just barely getting through some of these games. I think all that stuff is all shaken off by now. I do.
I agree.
You know, at this point, knowing that you can't win a division, where is Tex? I don't see him.
He was
Philly 500. Chiefs have a great defense. At some point in the game, we are going to look bad. Yeah, listen, they have a good defense, a good secondary. You know, but you know when you have Devontae Smith and you have Jalen Hurts. Those guys are going to make the plays eventually. Even DeAndre Swift. I thought DeAndre Swift was absolutely tremendous, and I really love the running back out of that backfield. You know, that little pass over the middle that they did a couple times. I thought that was great. Bloody Reckles, thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, after watching this game, I'm left with a question that I can't answer fully. Does Hurts have trouble with talented defensive schemes? Or is Brian Johnson calling bad offensive plays? I can see it both ways. I don't think Jalen Hurts has trouble with really good defenses because look, as good as defense the Chiefs have, when it was the fourth quarter, it's the money quarter. You know, it's championship quarter. Jalen Hurts comes up big. He goes in and he beats these teams. But I do think some of the play calling doesn't help Jalen Hurts. Like when they get the fumble and then they go to the wide receiver screen to Devontae, then they come right back to Julio Jones. I feel like sometimes maybe they're so analytic driven, they don't have a sense of where to go right now. Like I could tell you in the first quarter, DeAndre Swift looked like he was getting ready to have a big game. And then in the second quarter, because it's the way that they do it, he was gone the whole rest of the half until the third quarter. And it's like, I think sometimes they go so much by their script that they miss out on things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you're not throwing even you're running, like you're running those screen passes, and you know you should be getting the ball a little bit downfield. But I feel like some of the insides, like the RPO runs, like Hurts got like one hand in Swift's stomach for like 10 minutes, and it's like, dude, you gonna keep the ball? Are you gonna like some of those slow handoffs?
Yeah.
And those
I was calling it the delays is what I was calling it.
The screens are even worse because he turns so slow, and by the time he turns and that long forward motion of throwing the ball, that whole defense is going to go to that side. There's like literally no time for that play to develop. Like,
I would have loved if he wanted to throw there. Why not? You do the screen to Devontae, and you come back and you pump fake it to Julio Jones and send somebody long and do something like that. You know, and to me, it was like with DeAndre Swift running so well. It's like, don't you feel how good this guy's playing right now? Keep giving him the ball. And I just feel like they don't. Maybe they're so analytic driven. They're so by the board, or their sheet that they lose out on these feels. And then you get into the fourth quarter and they go by more of what they have to do. And I also think Jalen Hurts raises his game.
I agree.
Mav1, David Super Chat goes, tell Travis to stop ducking Taylor. Maybe he can catch the ball. Yeah, right. I think he was all depressed. I think he was all depressed she wasn't there. Thank God she wasn't there, because I would have said some nasty things. I was pissed off. I would have said some nasty things. I would have been very Paulie Walnut things to her. But I don't understand this coaching staff and this love affair with Gainwell. It shows every week that this offense doesn't work with him on the field. It doesn't. He either misses a block. There was a running back screen that Hurts took a shot because he didn't know the play. He's asking Hurts, and it was supposed to be a screen to him, and he stood in there and didn't know what to do. I think Gainwell hurts his team, and when they take him out in the second and put him in the whole second quarter, it always screws everything up, in my opinion.
Yeah, he didn't really have a lot of. I mean, he had that one rush for like a yard. I mean, they didn't really use him. Like they've been using more Boston Scott, which I really did like. They used more Boston Scott and DeAndre Swift, which was good. But I think he just slows like you said, like it brings no juice to the offense. I don't think he brings any juice at all. It's just it's dead weight, I think.
No. Lem says Byard's getting more comfortable. He will be locked. Yeah, I think Byard. I mean, there was a couple, like you said, miscommunication and one touchdown, but I think Byard's starting to. I think he had his best game.
Yeah.
Barbie says we never play our best football. As long as we're playing it in the playoffs,
who
when
is?
It matters.
But who is?
Yeah.
Answer me that.
Yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, they're showing the replay of Scantling. I thought he was going to catch that ball, dude. I mean, what a break!
Game.
That's hey. Listen, the team that won made the plays. Teal Hopkins, David Super Chat goes, remember, I told you it wasn't over at half, Joey. You remember him saying that?
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of, I wasn't comfortable I wasn't even, I mean, we were still in the game. Like we were still in it. Like, I was getting real furious with some of this play calling. I was offensively, like, the second half to what the side did and really contain that offense. I can't believe he did it. Like the defensive line, like Reddick got it. I mean, we talk about penalties and stuff. We know we bitch about things, but Reddick was getting it. Reddick was at it all game. Him and Travis got into an altercation, and he was getting held. I mean, he was getting held like crazy all game.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. T. Patrick says the Chiefs have the most drops in the league this far. How about that?
It's true.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. They did the Philly shove, I think maybe 2 or 3 times, I want to say.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe about 2 or 3, something like that. But it worked. Eagles still got to eliminate the penalties. But yeah, I agree.
Josh
There's
Sweat,
some things that they've got to do. Yeah. I mean, Josh Sweat went off sides like 2 times, Oh,
not Graham. Who am I talking about? That was a false start. It turned out to a false start. Forgot.
Yeah. I'm not even going to answer that one question. There's a stupid comment there. Bradley, David Super Chat goes, Eagles also had a beat up team. Yeah, I mean, I think it, we got injuries, but I think the Chiefs are probably they're all injured at this point in the season. But it's those that go out and make the plays. Fugly gang, David Super Chat goes, I love my Eagles. Call me a fake fan if you must, but I don't know if the Eagles are finding ways to win or teams finding ways to lose. Think about it this way. You're 29 straight weeks. You're at least by yourself in first place or tied. 29 weeks. Okay, I could see you say, all right, 1 or 2 times teams find ways to lose, but it can't be where you're 9-1 and everybody just happens to find a way to lose only when they play you. I think you got to give the Eagles credit. I do. I do. I think the Eagles are finding ways to win. I'm not saying that they're not perfect. They're not perfect. They make mistakes. There's some things that they got to work on. And I'm sure we'll do videos talking about things like Brian Johnson and some of the play callings and things like that. There are things to talk about and definitely nitpick. But when you coming off a win like this, I don't know. You got to enjoy a win like this tonight. I just think
They've done this multiple times this year. Like they've trailed in games and just they will just score, and sometimes this defense will just shut out offenses. Like, and they just come together, man. This is the comeback kid, man. Like this is what he does. Like he breaks your heart at the end of this game. He's gonna do it. So
yeah. James says 500, Joey. You know that if we bring this sad excuse of a product against San Francisco or Baltimore in Super Bowl, we get embarrassed like Dallas did. We are not built for it this year. I have a hard time believing that if the Eagles, who are 9-1, who if they don't get home field advantage, I have a hard time believing anybody's going to come in and beat them. I could tell you right now, I've watched San Francisco look like crap. I have watched Baltimore look like crap at times. Nobody's going to be perfect all the time, but a 9-1 is 9-1. You are what your record is. This team went in and beat the Chiefs in Kansas City on Monday Night Football. They're the champions. They just lost to this team in the Super Bowl. I think in my opinion, I think you're a little too hard on the Eagles. I think you got to give them a little bit of a break. I'm not saying that they're perfect, and I'm not saying they don't have to be better but man, I mean, we've got to be able to say, wow, 9-1, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oscar says we got to be doing something for other fan bases to be here trying to talk shit. I'm not even amazed. I'm more stunned. There was a lot of fan bases that thought that we were really, this was it. This was the Eagles collapse part. The Eagles now are going to play Kansas City. They're going to play Buffalo. They're going to play San Francisco. They're going to collapse now. And everybody was thinking that, and they thought that the Eagles would lose tonight, and it would be a great Thanksgiving. And now they're realizing the Eagles can beat anybody in the league because they just beat the Super Bowl champs. So I think it's a hard reality for these people. They're probably in denial that the Eagles are that good. They're that good.
Not perfect, but
they're not perfect.
And
there's a time to talk about. There's a time to talk about all the flaws. I think, and say, yeah, listen, Brian Johnson, I don't like this. I don't like the way they use DeAndre Swift. I mean,
do you think Slay had a bad game? I thought Slay had a horrible game.
I thought Slay looked like Deion Sanders not wanting to tackle, like he looked scared to tackle at times. I didn't think he played good. I didn't, but I just think that that right after the game, the night of the game, you gotta enjoy the win. There's plenty of times to nitpick every little thing. This isn't one of them. To me, this isn't one of those times where you come in and you win and say, yeah, we won, but this and this. This is one of those times where you gotta say, man, we are 9-1. We just went into Kansas City. We just watched our quarterback put this team on his back. We just watched this defense shut out the Chiefs. We've got to enjoy it, is what I'm saying, in my opinion.
We have to enjoy it.
Maverick one, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, Texas boy takes 12 inches without even flinching, like a gentleman, inch by inch. That's all I'm saying. Lamar still exists in NFL. I think he's the current MVP. I love Hurts, but he's got to be really. I don't know. I mean, Jalen Hurts just carried his team to a victory in Kansas City. He's 9-1. What else does Jalen Hurts have to do? He's a guy that was a runner-up MVP last year. He's been playing on one leg, and he just went in and beat Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. I don't see how he can't be the favorite for the MVP.
True.
500. This was a great win. Just like people to know they can't find freedom from drugs and alcohol addiction. I just like people to know they can find freedom from drugs and alcohol addiction. Thanks, bro. Yeah, they can. I agree. I agree with you. Antonio says, I hate Pacheco. I'm so sick of Pacheco.
He's a beast.
2 games, 4 yards, celebrating and throwing the ball. Then his ass got shut down second half. It did, yeah. 500. Chiefs have a great defense, so at some point in the game, we are going to look bad. Yeah, I agree. You're not always going to have everything be perfect. You know what I mean? Marquez Valdez-Scantling is the reason why you all won. Hey, listen, good players make plays. You know, good players make plays. The Eagles were winning that game. Were they not winning that game?
Our secondary's cooked every single week. That's how our scheme is. So like we know this. This isn't anything new that our secondary gets cooked every. It happens sometimes. I mean, they're gonna get yards on us. Like it wasn't as cooked this game too much. Like it wasn't bad. Like we didn't give up a lot of vertical threats downfield. We had some PI calls that, some of them are just what it is. The referees are either gonna throw the flag or whatever. It's just gonna happen. Right. But
yeah. Jesus hits David Super Chick. It was funny. We were up 10 during the Super Bowl. They were up 10 also. Yeah, ain't that something?
Oh yeah.
Anthony says, wait, but the Eagles barely won, says Cowboy fans. Please, yeah, Dallas barely lost to Arizona, but they both counted. At some point, I look at the close wins differently, I guess. I look at it like, man, if you win those close games, you win those tight games, a lot of times you're winning it because you don't panic and because you're mentally tough enough as a team to be battle tested and to get through it.
Yeah.
I think it bodes well for the playoffs, because you're probably going to be in tight games.
Yeah.
And
if you're a team that doesn't experience close games, and when you get into that moment, we talk about the Cowboys, talk about Dak Prescott, get into those moments where it's all on him and it usually ends in total disaster. We've talked about this a million times.
Absolutely. Yep, and we got 1,344 people in both chats. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit that like, make sure you subscribe. Click on my link in the description. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes here. Greg MC, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Brian Johnson is stubborn. That's a real thing, and it could bite us back in a bigger moment. Yeah, listen, you're only as good as your last game, and the Eagles next week, they got to play Buffalo. And everything that happened in this game has nothing to do with the game in Buffalo. Then they got to play the Niners. You still got a lot of football left to play. But as we sit right here, 9-1, I don't think the Eagles could have had a bigger win, especially emotionally. I think in terms of believing how good you can be.
Right.
I think this is one of those games that is going to help propel the Eagles. I really do.
I get it.
Tyron said, David Superchat goes, they said Hurts had a poor game on NBC Sports. I hate that post-game show. Listen, maybe he didn't play great 4 quarters, but I look how he finished. How did he finish? He you know what I mean? He took us down and gave us a lead. So I think they're crazy. Liam Barber, David Superchat goes, Cowboys haven't beaten a team over 500 this season. You all are on fraud alert. Go Birds. Oh, yeah. They're big time. Big time. Death Row South David Superchat goes, they got to start letting Hurts play the game. They're in his ear way too much. I agree with you. I think there's something to that.
Definitely. Looks robotic. He looks robotic.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Joe says, Philly Joey, Eagles are going to ask the league if all the Eagles defensive linemen can wear the number 7 versus Purdy in the Whiners. Talk about mind games. I think Purdy will start, will shard himself. Yeah, Purdy's not going to like seeing number 7 coming around the edge. I agree. Corey Davis says the screen pass drive me crazy. Yeah, it drives me crazy too. I mean, I hate the screen pass that they keep running. I do. The delayed handoff literally worked the first time they did it, and then it didn't work the rest of the game, and they kept doing it. And when we got the ball back with what? I think it was like 6 minutes left, and we had the lead. That the play calling was horrible. The delay handoff, which hadn't worked all night, they tried to run that. Then they tried to. What did they do? The next play they get, there was like a hold. And then I was like, oh, they're going to run. Hurts is going to run it. And of course, he runs it and gets nowhere. Like, they've got to do a better job play calling. I agree.
Yeah. I agree.
Poor Cowboy fans, man. We really ruined their night. We ruined their whole week because they thought, oh, we're going to be 1 game behind, and then we're going to play the Thursday, and we're going to win, and then we're going to have the same amount of wins coming out of Thanksgiving as the Eagles. And that just all went to hell. I mean, Mark Holmes had a video on it. They thought they were going to have a great day. Totally ruined. I think it's going to ruin. I think the Eagles win Kansas City is going to ruin the Cowboys on Thursday. I think the Cowboys are actually going to be depressed playing on Thursday now. Individual, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, do you think the rain was a huge help to us because the ball was so slippery for the big plays from the Chiefs wideout? Well, it's not like the Chiefs wideouts are like Tyreek Hill anymore. I mean, we would have had the same problem. Our wideouts didn't have the problem. So I don't think so. I just think Scantling just missed that ball. You know, we had it happen. Quez Watkins last year it happened. You know, so
same play, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Let's see. I still say Gainwell has pictures. Gainwell, yeah, I just don't understand why they use Gainwell the way they do. I don't get it. I even like Boston Scott in there more than I like him. Eagles Army down under. David Super Take goes, Mahomes 20 more passes, but only had 20 more yards.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought in the first half the Chiefs were winning that game because they were controlling both lines of scrimmage. They ran all over us in the first half, but everything changed. It changed in the second half. They couldn't run on us anymore. Once you took the run away from them, that was it. Fat Folder David Super Takers. Best thing about this game, there were no injuries. That's always a great thing.
Yeah.
You know. The individual David Super Takers. Enough with all the huff and puff. Jalen Hurts MVP because he said, I will do it myself. I know. Jalen Hurts. I'm so impressed with him in that game. You know, I was impressed with him in that Dallas game. And then in this game, in the fourth quarter, I mean, dude, you just can't deny the guy's a winner. The guy just freaking wins, Joe.
He doesn't fold. I mean, he just doesn't.
Yeah, he does not fold. Greg MC, he goes, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, ignoring your Super Chats. No, not ignoring anything. Just behind in the chat. I'm very far behind in the chat. You know, people don't understand when you get 1,300 people in it, it's hard to keep up. It really is.
True.
James Sidnor, Denver Super Chat goes, appreciate you guys. Biggest request, throw the ball down the field early. It's there, and they can't cover 6 or 11. No more wide receiver screens, especially on 15-yard line. I agree. I agree. I mean, you know, I was surprised, you know, that A.J. Brown, you know, on the miscommunication that led into a interception, he was open going downfield. I'm surprised they never went back to that. You know, that surprised me.
Yeah, he missed Smith on I think the Calcaterra throw to the right side. He was wide open down, like way downfield on the 40-yard line on the other side. So, I mean, I don't know how many receivers he missed today. I mean, every time. Do you think like sometimes when they were doing this, like the QB, sneak whatever on third down when he was just running with the ball in his hands, do you think like he made it look like he was going to pass, so then like the middle kind of opened up a little bit? You know, that was part of the design of the play.
On which one?
Like where he looks like he's
down.
Yeah, like when he's about to when Hurts looks like he's going to pass. Yeah, it might be design. I think it might be design.
I think it throws teams off also, and I think the reason they like to do it is because nobody expects a team to run a quarterback draw on some of those third downs.
Do you think he looks more healthy? Did you think he looked more healthy today?
I did. Yeah. I don't think he didn't run the previous 2 weeks. He didn't even try to run. So I think he's feeling better. I still don't think he's 100% though.
True.
Greg MC David Super Chat goes, didn't realize you were just behind. Apologies. No, you're okay. You're okay. It's just, it's a lot of people in here. Radiation by David Super Chat goes, I was at the game. It was cold and wet. Arrowhead was amazing besides the parking situation. Yeah, I hear it's like one of the great places to go watch. I would love to go there and see a game. Fred Flores, David Super Chat goes, all we do is win, boys. Finally got Reed and Kermit. Go Birds, baby. I am so sick of losing to Andy Reid. I got to tell you, I was so tired of it. And you know what? Their schedule's easy. Kansas City's schedule, they could easily win the rest of their games. I have no problem finally beating Andy. Thank Kelly Rebrio, member for 30 months. Thank you. There's always things to clean up, but a win in Kansas City is huge. It's humongous. This is
Oh,
a huge win, man. A huge win.
it is.
The Eagles, I mean, to me, I think Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback in the league. And I think that going into Kansas City is one of the hardest places to go on Monday night Super Bowl rematch. I don't know. I think it's a really impressive win. Although we weren't perfect, I don't know how anybody can be upset about this, you know?
Yeah.
Kelvin says, yo, Philly, I miss Andy Reid, but he didn't win big games in Philly. He didn't. He changed a lot, though, because first series they tried to come out throwing. It didn't work. It took him one series to go to the running game. Back in the day in Philly, it would take him 3 quarters if he would even do it, you know? Mills says, best team in the NFL feels good. It feels great. It feels great. And it was so funny is you got on Thanksgiving, you got Dallas plays, Detroit plays, and the 49ers play. And you know what? They didn't gain anything on us. They've gained nothing. Dallas thought that they were going to get the Panthers and they would have their little easy schedule where they just had, and that's when they would catch us. Didn't happen. Now they're in big trouble. They're in big trouble. Splendid says 500 the slate penalty pass interference. The pass interference. I'm trying to remember which one was. There was one that was really weak, a real weak pass interference. And what it was so frustrating about that pass interference he's talking about in the second half was the first half they were letting plays go. And then all of a sudden, it's like the Eagles score and they want to make sure Kansas City gets calls again. And then they decide, I hate when refs do that, when they don't call it and they put the flags away. And then all of a sudden they start making these calls. I hate that more than anything, you know. Sagan says, you enjoy your Stogie tonight. I'm enjoying my Pazuki. Barely win. We won. Oh, win is a win. Listen, there is no barely won in Kansas City. Okay? There is no, the Eagles haven't played good teams. Like all that bullshit is gone. They got to respect the Eagles. And the Eagles are clearly the best team in the National Football League. And it's not even close anymore. The Eagles are clear-cut number 1 team in football.
I agree.
You know? Yo, 500, do you think Howie will call Sue after tonight's game? I don't know. I didn't like the way the defensive line played in the first half. I thought the second half they were good, though, you know?
Milton Williams played pretty damn good today, too. I thought he played before his concussion.
I thought he was the best interior defensive lineman in the first half. There was a couple plays where, like, dude, they literally tackled Jordan. Like, they literally tackled Jordan Davis. There's 2 guys, and Jordan Davis gets the hand on the running back, and a guy comes and tackles him. And then they didn't even call it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Bradbury played bracketed Kelsey with Byard. I loved the way they used Byard on Kelsey. I thought that was big for them. I thought Byard had a good game. You know, even though there was some miscommunications, I thought that interception was big time for us.
Yeah, it was huge.
I heard all the Cowboy fans freaked out when Byard had that interception in the end zone. It was like flashbacks of picking Dak off. It was a beautiful thing. You know, it was a great thing. Listen, it's a big win. I thought Britton Covey played really good. Dude, he had some really good returns tonight, too. You know, really good returns. That set us up perfect.
Yeah, so now going into next week, now you're going to get more reinforcements back. You're going to get Justin Evans back. You're going to get Quez Watkins back, which is going to be really interesting if how they're going to utilize him. And I wouldn't mind using his speed right now. I wouldn't mind it.
Right.
No doubt.
Right. You're 9-1. I think I feel really good about them playing Buffalo. That gets you to 10-1. You still got those 3 easy games at the end of the year. That's 13 wins. This team's headed for 14 wins. You know, and we couldn't be in a better spot, you know.
That's true.
Look at Sleepy 500. Logan, happy early 30th. Yes, Logan, happy early 30th. Sleepy 500 in the house. I don't care. Sirianni says Jalen Hurts called an audible on the pivotal Devontae Smith deep ball. I bet you the first play call was a bubble screen.
Oh, no.
That would be interesting to know. Yeah, I do think sometimes Hurts is a little bit handcuffed by the play calling and some of it. I do. And I think when he has to kind of go out and start to make throws and start to push the ball down the field, he's way more successful. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Mahomes has no competition in the AFC, a top 3 defense, solid run game, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. And Chiefs fans still crying because they want Moss, Rice, and T.O. on offense. Well, I mean, you know, they had Tyreek Hill. They let him go. They could always kept him if it was that important.
Mm-hmm.
Joe says, Philly Joey, who would ever think going back to the beginning of the 2022 season, our Eagles would be in league first in the league for 28 straight weeks? I know, it's crazy.
Dude.
And it's automatically 29 because, you know, they'll be in first place. Nobody can catch them, really. It's crazy. Great. It's a great game. Great game. But we're 50 minutes in. It is 1:15 in the morning where you're at. It's 10:15. I still got to go out and smoke a stogie. Is there anything else, man, you want to say before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good win tonight, and I mean, this was a battle today. We knew it was going to be a battle, and the Eagles came on top, man. This was tough, and I didn't give up. You know, it wasn't pretty at times. You know, we'll be talking about a lot more this week, and you know, it's a really good start coming off the bye. I mean, definitely.
Yeah, it don't get any better than that. It really don't. 1946 Connie Mac Eagle fan, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I heard the locker room was laughing about harassing Kelsey out of the game. The Birds made jokes like, where's your hot piece with vacation with Garner? He was pissed. Oh,
if you were right,
I hope so. That's what I would have done.
Yeah,
that's what I would have been. I would have been like, where's she with the gardener? I hear the gardener walks on his tiptoes. Like, I would have had him pissed off. They probably did, which is genius. It's absolutely genius.
Get in his head.
I love it. Thank you for the super chat. You know, 500 still has to do a cigar video and make a UFO sighting. I do. I have to go look for some UFOs outside. So we're going to definitely do that. But no, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We still have over 1,200 people in the chat. If you're new, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. Click the link in the description. So up, my man Joey. We will be back Saturday for another Shakedown podcast as we preview the Bills game. Joey, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'm sure I'll be texting you in between. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stream Thursday. I'm leaning towards not because of this win. I think the Eagles are sitting pretty, and we should just enjoy the week and enjoy the day. So with that, guys, I guess we'll get out of here. You guys take care. We will talk to you later. Look for videos late at night tonight. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And Eagles are 9-1. With that said, take care. We will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Time for one more play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
running
from
a. To get off the field on third down. What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Tell him more. He's gotta be better, man. Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play. We had an opportunity to win that game at the end. But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us. I'm upset, but the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
You literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. Yeah, we had an opportunity for one more play.